Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the Geeknd Live, and this week's stream is dedicated to the memory of, have you noticed something? Something? Can I hear? Yeah. It brings me great sadness to tell you that Vigo has fallen. Vigo has fallen. These are sad times. Although I am happy to report that I caught him. I didn't catch him falling. That's happened. The frame is broken. But I did catch him before he was able to steal any of the local babies. So that's one positive from this very sad situation. So let's dedicate this stream to the memory of Vigo, who has fallen. All right, then, let's see who's here, and then I'll talk about what we're actually going to talk about. Rehab. James Flakes is here. Hello to you, James Flakes. Good to see you, as always. Glenn the Geeky Hippie is here. He says good evening, afternoon, morning, and also asks how many subs I've lost today. I'm trying not to check in a moment. I think only one. By the way, the unlisting thing did work in the subscriber sense last week. But as I said last week, I can live with losing subscribers if they're, if they've signed up to the wrong channel, if they're not going to watch the content anyway. What I learned was something about how the live streams, because you have sort of people come in, and they leave after a minute, it affects the retention rate and all of this stuff that YouTube algorithm looks at, and that can then affect your next upload. So I mean an actual upload, an edited video. I didn't see much benefit of that with the upload I did yesterday, but I'll give it another week. So I am going to unlist this one again. If you're watching in the future, by the way, let me know if you can see this. I believe that if you have your notifications on, you'll be able to find the stream even when it's been unlisted. Hondo had a great idea in the comments from last week about I can create a playlist that I unlist. So it will be there on the channel homepage, even though the streams in the playlist will be unlisted. It will be there and visible. So if you don't want to press the bell notifications, but you want to catch up on a stream, I'm going to organize that playlist a little later on. So you will be able to go back and check out former streams. Who else is here? Lash D is here as well. Hey, yo to you, Lash D. David is in the house. Greetings. And also Clays is here as well. I haven't missed anybody as I scroll down. Chad, the stopwatch Campbell, doing his thing, but we all know that thing don't work. Glenn the Geeky Hippie is happy to see Clays and the stopwatch. Sidge is here on his way to band practice, I suspect. Good to have you, even though it might be brief. Have a good band practice. Yeah, I'm one of those talking days where talking is tough. Yeah, Jane, where have you been? You weren't here last week, were you? But it's good that you are here this week to witness this stream dedicated to the memory of Vigo. And Simon D is right. We are going to dedicate this stream to Vigo, R.I.P. Vigo. Vigo has fallen. Also, Kefar, thank you as well for dedication to Vigo, who has fallen. Have I mentioned he's fallen? Also, FKR, we're going to do the chat batch later on. So in about half an hour's time, we'll switch to chat batch mode. I've got a guest, and you got the prediction right, didn't you, last week, of who that mysterious figure might be? Don't say anything about it in the chat now, just in case some people in the chat. I know some people in the chat haven't got round to watching any of the Bad Batch yet, but do plan to. So let's keep Bad Batch spoilers away for now. Hello to Gaz Nottingham. Good to see you, mate. Chad, come on now. Chad says, well, dang, poor Vigo. Oh, well, he was in an inferior film. Anyway, I love Ghostbusters too. I'm not having that, Chad. Not having that. I'm going to remove this comment from the screen. I'll keep it in the chat, so other people can see this disgusting comment that you've made. Shame on you. So more people now can pile the shame on, but I will remove it from the screen. It's gone. There we go. Pridonian is here, and Pridonian is one who I know is planning on watching the Bad Batch at some point, but not that point. That point has not arrived yet. So no spoilers for Pridonian. I will give warning of when we switch into the chat batch mode. Pridenian says, hi, Jamie. Hi, all. Hope everyone is having a good week. We'll be in the kitchen unpacking shopping. So, Jamie, please shout. I'm shouting. I'm shouting as best I can. I'm shouting. Out of respect for the fallen Vigo, I don't want to be sort of shouting too much. This is meant to be like in memoriam to Vigo, so I don't know if shouting, bellowing is too appropriate for such a fab. Right, Cheese Whiz is here as well. What's up, you? How are you, Cheese Whiz? Haven't seen you for a few weeks, but it is good to see you on this week. And Dale is back. Dale is in the house. Good to see you back, Dale. So, yeah, how is everyone? What's this here? Hang on. Jamie on 2x speed is insane. Am I skipping? It looks okay, my end. But that quite often means nothing. You know what it's like? I'm in a shed, people, and the shed is falling around me. Okay, hopefully it's okay. Hopefully it's okay. Maybe it's just Glenn the Geeky Hippie putting me on 2x speed because no one else has mentioned it. Glenn was trying to catch up. Yeah, I have Carino Chad's ass. Not completely. I've not airbrushed him out. He's in the chat. He's in the chat still. He's in the chat. I just removed that comment from, getting the exposure that your comment currently is, Simon. Cheese Whiz is just fine. He's at work, or he or she is at work in a moment, and you try and catch the streams when you can. Good. That's good enough for me. Thank you. All right, everyone. I do hope you're well, and if you're not well, I hope you get well soon. So what have we got in this week's alleged entertainment? A couple of little nuggets of stories, news that I stumbled across, some of which are days old, but we do this once a week at the moment, so we catch up. We catch up together. And also, in about half an hour, famous last words, we're going to have the chat batch. And I have another guest with me. And this week's guest has been on the channel before. I don't think in a Star Wars capacity, though. He came on to talk about Falcon Winter Soldier a little while ago. But in terms of his online broadcasting, he is very much associated with Star Wars. It's Alden Diaz from the Ach-To radio podcast. So we'll talk the latest episode of The Bad Batch with him and with you in the chat as well a little later. By the way, I'm thinking for the finale of The Bad Batch, I'll go back to a standalone stream episode for it, and we should do a phone in. I know we talked about it before, but we should do it. Right. Here we go. What else? I will come over to the chat in a second. Oh, yeah, this is the first story. So this is really cool. I've just seen Daniel Rigger in the chat as well. Hello to you, mate. You've just watched that Variety interview with Ewan McGregor and Pedro Pascal, and it was super interesting. Yeah, I loved that chat. Star Wars and more. There was so much. It wasn't an interview, was it? Really, it was just a conversation. There was so much interesting topics that were covered by the pair of them. All right, so this is cool. I like this. Do you remember a little while ago we looked at Dave Prowse's estate, basically flogging all of his memorabilia for a charitable cause, of course. I don't know about the charitable cause here. Maybe there is one, but Prop Store auctioning many things. But what has caught my eye, and also Fanfatrack's eye, because I'm using their website here, is Carrie Fisher's annotated The Empire Strikes Back script, which is really interesting. Obviously, it's interesting just because I'm a nerd, so naturally this is interesting to me as a Star Wars fan. But also, it's a little bit more than just a physical moment of history, which would be really cool to own. I would love to get my hands on this. It's something else to add to the list of things I'll never own. Like a house, dignity. And now Carrie Fisher's Empire Strikes Back script. But what's really cool about it, I'm going to play the video. I might mute the volume. Can I play the video? What's going on here? Can I play the video? Oh, I've got to hang on, everybody. Here we go. I don't know why it's massive. I haven't zoomed in on this. It's just massive. What are Fanfare tracks doing? All right, I'm going to play this. I don't think there'll be sound because I still haven't figured out how to include the sounds, but that's not the point. That's not the point because I have linked to this video in the video description. So we're not going to sit here and watch it together. Although, one day maybe we'll do something like that when I can learn how to put the sound on. But I've linked to it in the video description. Go and check it out because it's really interesting. Because again, look at him. He's got to wear the protective gloves. It's amazing to see anyway. But what's cool is she has annotated it. And these notes are really crucial notes because, I mean, Carrie Fisher, we shouldn't be surprised by this. She wrote many things. She wrote her own books and what have you. She went to, I believe she went to drama school, so she knew a little bit about dialogue, it's fair to say. But she's not just written like little annotations for her own character. She's actually reworked dialogue, not just for her character, but also for other characters. And some of these notes actually became the final script, not just for Princess Leia. So, never tell me the odds. Never tell me the odds from Han Solo to C-3PO. Classic line. That, if you watch this video later, after the stream, people, if you watch this video, that's not in the printed script. That is whether it was because actually the guy does explain that there's some pen notes, there's some pencil notes, which are obviously a bit faded, but never tell me the odds is not in the printed script. It is one of her handwritten notes. I didn't know this. She contributed that line and other lines as well. And watch the video. And also, I think there's probably, I haven't delved this deep yet, but I think there's a link probably on their YouTube page. Again, I've linked to it. And it will take you to the auction website where you can see, read some of the script. I think it's been like listed as something like 30 to 50,000 pounds. No, that's US dollars, actually, 30 to 50,000 US dollars. But yeah, it's quite cool. I mean, maybe this is out there anyway. I don't know, but I never knew she contributed. I mean, all actors to a certain extent will ad lib, and a lot of directors will let them off that. I think Gareth Edwards was quite cool with the likes of, say, Alan Tudyk ad libbing in Rogue One. Not all directors like it. I didn't know that she actually literally contributed lines to the film, but it looks like she did. Maybe I should make a video on this, like actual edited, uploaded video. Maybe I'll do that because it's cool. Have a look at it and then watch the video if I make it. Yeah. All right. So that's cool. I'm happy with that. Are you happy with that? Now everyone's going to tell me in the chat. Yeah, Jamie, we all knew this. Old news. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. I'm seeing more abuse for Ghostbusters 2, which I'm going to ignore. Chad Campbell says having any original script would be fantastic, but especially if it was a lead actors. Yeah, and this is that. Simon D, I just watched the Steel Wars interview with Eric Walker from the Ewok TV movies. Pretty funny, and there's some cool on-set VHS footage from the 80s with him and a young Warwick Davis. That's cool. Steele's a good guy. I actually put in a request for an interview with Eric Walker, and he ignored me. But anyway, I won't hold that against him or even you, Simon. Okay. Cheese Whiz says this is amazing. In regards to the stream, I'm sure, not the subject of Carrie Fisher's Empire Strikes Back script. Glenn, if you're talking about Steele's interview, if it's not one of his Patreon-only audio things, it will probably be on his YouTube channel, Steel Wars on YouTube. He does upload a lot of his stuff there. Chad says Carrie was a script supervisor on a lot of films, including... yeah, I knew that. But that wasn't the case for Empire. I mean, did she get any late credit for Empire? Because, man, these are lines. These are actual lines. Glenn's added, yeah, she polished a heck of a lot of the scripts over the years, many, many movies. Yes, Steel Wars. Steel Wars. Now, Dale has branded this story as fascinating now, and Dale is a bit like Simon, full of trivia, cinematic trivia. So if he finds this fascinating, then I'm on to a winner. I'm going to make a video about this. Not the fact that Dale found this story fascinating, but about the story that Dale found fascinating. Chad, hang on, Chad. Are you poo-pooing? Are you about to poo-poo? Now, to be fair, it's possible she changed it in the script because it got changed in a group read or something. Don't poo-poo. Not saying it isn't her, but that's a possibility. You're poo-pooing, Chad. But yeah, you could be right as well. All right, Simon D. There's a 2002 interview with Carrie interviewing George where they are quite open and she talks about her script doctoring on his films. But did she get any credit for Empire? Yeah, do a video on improvised lines that made it. Yeah, this would fall into that category possibly as well, wouldn't it? Jane Flakes, I seem to recall that she included some idea of her script doctor work in one of her books, but I have read a few of them, so can't remember which. Dale Harrison Ford is well known for complaining about not being able to say the lines. Perhaps Carrie will rework them to be helpful to him. Just guessing. Yeah, it's possible. I mean, it was Harrison that said the famous George, you can type this bleep, but you can't say this bleep. Something along those bleeping lines. I don't swear on this channel. Have you noticed that? Don't swear. I do swear in real life. Do you remember, Liam Robertson, video game history guy, who came on recently? He heard me swear off air, and he was in shock. He knows me from YouTube and had never heard me swear before. But it happens. So brace yourselves, people, for when we ever meet in the real world, because I might well swear. Cheese Whiz asks, do you have any crazy props or replica autographs or replicas autographs, Jamie? No. Yes, no. Do you know what I have? And maybe one day I'm going to do like a giveaway. I have got something cool signed by Dave Prowse, but what I think is even better that I've got something signed by Anthony Daniels too. But because I'm not much of a collector, and actually I might for one of these streams, I might in a few months' time, I've got to sort out a lot of stuff back at my mum's, boxes that she's had enough of. So I'm gonna have loads of old Star Wars stuff back from when I was a collector. So I might do some like dusty unboxing videos, and they will be dusty. But anyway, what's cool is The Empire Strikes Dawn, my documentary about finding the stormtrooper that bumped his head. Spoiler, Martin Reed, who was voted by our jury as the stormtrooper that bumped his head, in our opinion, or their opinion, he signed a box of fish fingers for me. And I've still got it. The fish fingers have gone. They've exited the box. But if you haven't seen the documentary, he was a Captain Birdseye. So he was a mascot, if you like, of fish fingers in Europe. So, that's probably the craziest. The stormtrooper that bumped his head has signed a box of fish fingers for me. There you go. What else? Takes to know Games is here as well. Good to see you, mate. I do swear, Chad. Don't make me swear now. I just don't swear on streams or on the YouTube channel in general. I don't think I need to, really. And do you know what? Like, I did see, hello, Supreme Leader Brad Snoke. I did see you there in the chat, but I did see once someone made a comment. It was like on a Twitter thing that I got atted in, and it was someone saying, can you recommend some sort of, movie YouTubers, Star Wars YouTubers or whatever? And someone atted me in, and I saw it, and so I don't get atted very often. And they said something like, at the moment, his channel's clean, there's no swearing or what have you, and therefore it's safe for your kids. So I kind of feel like this should be a safe place for people of all ages. So there we go. I don't think about ad revenue because it's so small anyway, because I know if you swear and stuff, and depending on the subject of your content, it can affect your ad revenue. I just think, as long as McClunky doesn't count as a swear word, I just think, why not keep it clean? But you guys, you can do what you want in the chat. Right. Okay, everybody, let's do another story. But Cheese Whiz has met Dave Prowse, Jeremy Bulloch, Phil Brown, and Kenny Baker. Who did Phil Brown play in Star Wars? you've got me there because I don't know. Right, I'm going to bring in another story now because my guest will be arriving soon. I asked him to arrive at 6:30 UK time. So what would do you know what, guys? It was going so well. It was going so well, and then I clicked the refresh button on StreamYard. One day we'll do a perfect stream. I'm back. I'm back. Calm down. I was swearing though, but the mic was muted. Oh, Uncle Owen. That's cool because he's no longer with us, is he? In fictional and real world terms. Right. Okay. What I was trying to do was, in case anyone's interested, I know we've been talking about future Star Wars projects, and there's so much we don't know much about. And one of those mysterious projects is Star Wars Visions. And there's been an announcement about an announcement by Star Wars this week. So this is the anime Star Wars sort of series of shorts, I think, for Disney Plus. And June 16th, was that yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. They have announced that Anime Expo, Star Wars are seriously trying to tap into the anime audience here. So at Anime Expo, they will be giving a sneak preview of Star Wars Visions. I believe this will be the first preview. So Anime Expo, is it an online event? I suppose it is. But it's going to be 30 minutes on July the 3rd. And 3 p.m. PST. There you go. So if you want to, or even know how to attend, I suppose virtually, Anime Expo, then you will see a sneak preview of Visions, or just do what I'm going to do and wait till it ends up on all the social media feeds. But there you go. Just thought I'd bring that to your attention in case you missed it. All right. I know not everybody's into this, but I am, and it's my stream, and I will cry if I want to. I might even swear if I want to, but I probably won't. Don't worry. Stranger Things. I'm very excited about Stranger Things 4, and it's slowly but surely becoming a reality. And I feel like all we ever do is look at set leaks on this stream. That's just like, it's the only news out there, unofficial news. But there have been now, after all of the Andor and Indiana Jones and Kenobi set leaks, we now have some for Stranger Things and a load of adverts on metro.co.uk. And if you can see the person on the stretcher, that is 11. That is Millie Bobby Brown. Although it's not. It's actually, apparently, according to the article, a mannequin of Millie Bobby Brown. So there we have it. And as the headline says here, Stranger Things 4, new set pictures tease terror for Millie Bobby Brown as 11 is wheeled out on a stretcher or a gurney. So yeah. Also, you can see the police car there. It is Hawkins Police Department car. And there was a school of thought that this season would maybe not be set in Hawkins, because we know Hopper's in Russia, or we presume he's in Russia, and obviously the kids were separated. 11 and co left town, didn't they? But I imagine this picture confirms that at least some of the story will be set in Hawkins. Good old Hawkins. I've been to the real Hawkins, Columbus, Georgia, USA. Anton's here. Ant, sadly, I can't hear anything, as you're not missing out on much, as I'm on the train and forgot my headphones. Hope everyone is doing well. We hope you're doing well. Ant, good to see you, my friend. And don't forget your headphones next time, mate. Chad, meanwhile, is very, very so ready for Stranger Things 4. I'm hoping for a Valentine's release. Yeah, we still don't have a release date. Important details there. There's a lot we don't know. There is a lot we don't know about this series. But Well worth following the Stranger Things Instagram account. They do post some cool little teasers every now and again. Yeah, and it has been a while. And you're not even listening. I'm saying all this stuff and you can't even hear it. Chad Campbell, in regards to anime and Star Wars, I feel there's a decent amount of Star Wars fans that are also anime fans, so I can see it being a hit. Yeah, I'm interested. I am interested. I would rather have got on this Vision special look on May 4th in terms of announcements. Star Wars Day was very underwhelming from Takes to No Games. Yeah, it was. We did a whole stream about, what could they announce? And there's a whole list of upcoming projects. Could there be something on this, that? Nothing. Am I right in saying there was nothing? I mean, we had the Bad Batch, obviously, the premiere. Yeah, you have got to love those announcements about announcements. And as Glenn has pointed out here, David, don't forget the announcements for the announcements that announce other announcements. That is basically what keeps the YouTube pop culture niche ticking, I would say. All this speculation, and if there isn't speculation out there, you make up your own speculation. That is YouTube. I just saw Takes No Games, 11's off-screen death is confirmed. They won't kill her off. Also, this isn't the final season. I think the Duffer Brothers have confirmed there will be at least a Stranger Things 5. I feel like Stranger Things is at a place where it probably should wrap up, as great as it has been, and as much as I love it, and I'm excited for season 4. I think it's something that's kind of possibly, approaching the territory of being pushed a bit too far. And FKR had actually forgot that Stranger Things even existed. But now, you've remembered, and you are hyped again. Sige, not at band practice yet, is excited for Stranger Things 4. Phil Hawkins is in the chat. He's not been to Hawkins, but he is the Hawkins. And Phil, we're going to be chatting soon, aren't we, mate? You're coming on to do the chat batch soon, aren't you? And of course, I'm very professional. I've written down the date of what it was. Just don't remember it off the top of my head. Sige, I'm curious to how they level up this series of Stranger Things. They've gone bigger with every series. The whole invasion of the body snatchers vibe of season 3 will be hard to top. Yeah, season 3 got a little... I loved season 3, but season 3 got a little bit of stick from some sections of the Stranger Things fan base and the press in general. But then again, I think that's the same for season 2 as well, because you're always going to be comparing to the season that came before. But yeah, it will be interesting to see, as you said, how they level up this series, where they go with it. I was sort of expecting, and maybe it's still the case, that we're not going to see much of Hawkins again with Hopper where he is, and 11. I mean, these could be, 11's not necessarily in Hawkins there. She probably is. But yeah, I thought that would be something that sets this series apart from others. And that would be where it's set. I know in the past we've had flashback scenes, and was it Chicago 11 went to? Although it was actually Atlanta where they shot, because I'm a nerd. I know these things. I think I'm right in saying that anyway. I'm right in saying I'm a nerd, but whether I'm right in saying it was Atlanta where they faked Chicago. Anyway, we shall see. 8th of July is when Phil's coming on for the chat batch. Of course, I knew that, Phil. And yeah, Stitch makes a good point about the kids are growing up fast, 100 miles per hour to be precise. They won't be able to do it forever. They've got to, I know this has been delayed because of the pandemic. They were due to go into production right when pandemic episode 1 or season 1 started. So I know this is behind schedule for reasons out of their control. But yeah, they have got to keep going. So I imagine they'll be rolling fairly swiftly into season 5, because yeah, it's Finn Wolfhard, isn't it? He's also in the Ghostbusters sort of reboot. He's tall. He's like an adult now. Millie Bobby Brown, look at her Instagram now. She's so, and then you see old clips of season 1, like different person almost. Right. Sorry if I've missed any comments. It sort of skips along as new comments come in. But I'm going to come on to the next story now, because our guest, Alden, will be, should be, might not be, arriving soon. All right, so I'll come back to the chat in a moment. What else did I want to... oh, yeah, one more thing. I'm not that bothered about this, but let's do it anyway. This is the other, and I'm sure most of you have seen this already. You've probably seen all of this already, but it's nice to chat about it together. Where is it? Yeah, some more Kenobi set leaks. So that's Indria Farmer there. Do you remember a while back we were an Indria Farmer you might know best from Game of Thrones? We were speculating on what role she might have, and I think I went down the Inquisitor route, and some of you agreed with me, you know, because of the cheekbones and all that. She had that look about her, and I think a lot of us in the end were sort of saying, if not that, then Imperial. Got to be Imperial. There are a few shouts for a love interest for Kenobi, but I think this is confirmed that she is Imperial, baby. That's pretty Imperial, isn't it? So there she is with a bottle of some sort of refreshing beverage, a mobile phone, and an Imperial officer of some type. Someone will tell me exactly which type, I'm sure. And also with the hairdressers, like the hair salon gown thing that you get. You know, I mean, I don't do this very often, but when I make my biannual trip to the barbers, they give you that kind of gown thing. And I think I'm right in saying, because I really do make only fleeting appearances on Twitter at the moment, and that's been the case for a long time. You can blame Brexit and just some of the COVID response from the country I'm in and other countries, and also just some of the Star Wars nonsense as well. That's reasons why I stay clear. But I could be wrong here. I don't think I am wrong, because, you know, the internet's a funny place. But there's Ewan in his Kenobi outfit underneath the barber's gown. I think that's the technical term, the barber's gown. I think some people actually thought that was the new Kenobi robe outfit. Obviously, it's not. And I don't know, I mean, we can get excited about the boots he's wearing, but I don't know why it's such a big deal about Kenobi's outfit. We know exactly, or pretty much, what he's going to look like. Although I imagine his hair would be shorter. So it looks like he actually has been to the barber. So maybe that is actually a barber's gown after all. Right, I'm going to pop over to the chat one more time. And then I can see our guest Alden has arrived. So I will give you a fair warning for when we seamlessly transition into the chat batch mode. Right. I'm just... okay, I'm going to skip past Stranger Things now. One more. Simon D. Stranger Things will start ripping off Independence Day and Men in Black into the 90s. They are going to hit the 90s, aren't they? Chad says no. I don't think it will reach the 90s, maybe 87 if every season keeps being an individual year. All right. Okay, there's been a shout for Mrs. Tarkin for Indria's character. Takes no games. I would hate it if she was just a love interest. Well, I think it's fair to say she is not. That would be a controversial relationship, wouldn't it, if she was a love interest of Kenobi as an Imperial officer. Takes no games. I think Obi's secret relationship with Duchess Satine was enough. And there's been a very important point from Glenda Geeky Hippie. I doubt any woman would marry Tarkin. I mean, do we know much about Tarkin's personal life in the the old EU and the current canon? Does he have offsprings? Does he have a partner? Was there an Imperial Porsche in the background too? Wonderful. Right. Cheese whiz, the second I get my Stormtrooper armor, I'm wanting to join the 501st. Good on you, mate. I got me original New Hope Stormtrooper helmet. Just makes me dream seeing all the cosplay. Yeah, Brad, I don't know if Brad's still here, but Brad's a keen cosplayer as well. And yeah, I have a lot of respect for it, and it's amazing what people do. I'm not plugging my interview here, but my interview with Paul Sun Hyung Lee, who plays Carson Teva. Go and watch other Paul Sun Hyung Lee content. In fact, he's got his own YouTube channel. I think it's Bitter Asian Dude. And he is a hardcore Star Wars cosplayer. And he's in Star Wars. He's living the dream. So he's a great guy to go and watch and geek out with, not from him just being in Star Wars, but also for his love of the franchise as well. I'm gonna make a video soon, sort of offspring documentary, if you like, of The Empire Strikes Thor, which I think a lot of you will be interested in. So if you've seen the doc, you might remember I visited the original Stormtrooper factory where they made the outfits. I obviously filmed there for a whole day, so I was very lucky to be there. It was like a 3-minute segment in the documentary, so I'm going to turn that into I don't know how long, but like probably a 10-minute video. So I'm gonna hit the archive. I think that should see the light of day. Bit of controversy about the guy who runs it, so I've got to tread carefully on how I do it, because I wasn't aware of the controversy when I met him, so I haven't covered it with him. And also, that's not why I was there anyway. I was there for a very specific reason. So yeah, I've got to have a little think about how because I don't want to ignore the controversies. But Andrew Ainsworth's his name, by the way, if you want to look it up. All right, everyone. I can see that our guest is here. I think I said that. Chad's still on Stranger Things here. He's not giving up on this. He doesn't think it will go over the 80s. I think this is what Chad's on still. So I'm thinking it won't go over the 80s unless they changed everything in their mind. But if it keeps being 1 year a season, Stranger Things would have to go to at least 8 seasons before we hit the 90s. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, if it's on that kind of format. I think the Duffer Brothers, whilst they haven't said it's 5 and out, I don't think they've committed. I might be wrong, actually. In fact, I might have seen something that they have signed for 2 more seasons, not including this one. Anyway, I think there's only 5 or 6 as things stand. I don't think there'll be 8 seasons of Stranger Things. I don't think there needs to be. Although I'll be there if they want to bring us more. Hello, Skywalker Sound. Good to see you, my friend. Pridonium will look forward to. You are looking forward to the Star Wars Factory video. Well, I need to deliver now. I need to deliver. I've said it publicly. Right. I am now going to transition ourselves into the chat batch mode. Every time I go full screen again, I'm just reminded of the chaos that went on behind me with the fall of Vigo. So let's just officially confirm that we are moving to chat batch mode now by putting up this exciting graphic, which was a real collaboration of the Geeknd Live. Because David, aka Jones Capone, in the chat right now, he made the logo for me. He sent it to me out of the blue. I was very grateful for it. It's beautiful. It's a thing of beauty. And it was named by Sige, who was in a chat. He might be at band practice now, but there we go. Real collaboration. So this confirms that we are now entering the chat batch. So if you're not watching the Bad Batch, if you're not interested, this is your cue to leave, and you're more than welcome to hang around if you want to. But if you're trying to avoid spoilers, if you're a little bit behind, then this is your cue as well to leave. All right, so there we go. We had the branding, and this is your final warning. We are about to talk about the Bad Batch. This is the chat batch, and we have yep. All right, I've got that going. Okay, so yeah, this is episode 7. Battle Scars is the name of it. I'm pretty sure if you're still here, Brydonian, I know you're not watching at the moment. I know you've got some catching up to do. So thank you for joining for this bit, and we will see you again soon. Oh no, David's got to go as well. I've just seen David. I've put up the wrong comment, but David's got to go too. Yeah. Final warning, everyone. Final warning. We are going to talk spoilers for episode 7, Battle Scars. Now, those spoilers start in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so this is the sort of basic synopsis. In my head, at least, this is how I saw it. So, Wrecker, right, has become a ticking "Don't Make Me Stressed" time bomb, thanks to his inhibitor chip. And eventually, in this episode, we see him kind of go Order 66 mode on his traitorous pals. But the good news is that Captain Rex is there to show them how to remove the chips. He's like the Star Wars equivalent of a YouTube tutorial at this point. And they need to board a decommissioned Republic cruiser with the correct medical facility to perform such a procedure within. That's the kind of basic gist of it. We're going to talk more about it with you in the chat and also with Alden Diaz from Ach-To Radio, a Star Wars podcast, a Star Wars network, no less. Now, I say a Star Wars podcast because it was once upon a time a Star Wars podcast. And look, I got the t-shirt.
Look at that.
Hold it. I can't hear you because I've got to put these on. Hang on a second.
Oh,
here
he comes.
Hello, my friend.
Hey, what's up, man?
I've got your t-shirt on that you kindly sent me.
That's amazing.
This is so out of date, so I would like you to update the t-shirts, please, because it's Ach-To Radio, a Star Wars podcast, but you are now a network. You are in the Empire business now.
I know, yeah. We fully are we in the Star Wars business or the money business? Yeah, it totally has expanded, and it will continue to a little bit more down the road, because they just keep feeding us. They just keep giving us more stuff to talk about and different angles to approach things like Bad Batch, and yeah, it's a great time to be a Star Wars fan.
So I know the last time, I haven't been doing the streams for too long. So I think the only time you've been on a stream, I know we did something for The Mandalorian, but the only time you've been on a stream was for Falcon Winter Soldier with our friend Charlie Ashby of Imperial Senate podcast. So you weren't there in your Star Wars capacity. Now you are. So for anyone who's meeting you for the first time, I know a few people recognize you in the chat. Clay says hello to you. Glenn the Geeky Hippie says that you are a great follow on Twitter, and everyone else should follow. I have a link to Alden's deets in the video description. So for anyone who's finding you for the first time, tell us a little bit about...
I lost Jamie. Where did he go? It's okay. We're going to bring him back.
Hello again.
Capacity. There he is.
I'm back. All right. Okay. I didn't want to bore people with boring things that I do a lot of, so I'll do a little bit more of it now. I've got a new laptop and I'm still figuring it out, people. All right. And it's got this Apple Touch Bar thing. So I had a really old MacBook, which was causing half the problems that I used to have on the streams. And now I seem to have a new half of different problems. This Touch Bar thing, I keep just like touching it because that's what it wants you to do, and it keeps doing things that I don't expect. Anyway, Alden, where were we? You were going to tell us a little bit about the OG podcast and where it's branched out to.
Yeah, so the original impetus of Ach-To Radio was wanting to do sort of like Inside the Actors Studio, but with Star Wars people. So Jamie's been on, and our friends like Charlie Ashby and Ken Knapsack, a bunch of people that talk about Star Wars, people that have been involved in Star Wars, people that work for Lucasfilm, and we do just long form interviews about their experience, how they feel, all that stuff. It goes all over to different places. But then at some point I was like, I kind of want to have some other topics get touched on, collaborators. So now there's a second show on the feed that you get entirely free. It's just on there. It comes out on a different day of the week, called The Mandatory Creed. That's one of my best friends in the world, Tori Fox, and she does multi-part breakdowns of like a specific Star Wars topic. So right now she's in her droids season. So she's talking all about droids and the history of them and the actors behind them and all that stuff. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, and as you said, Star Wars is the content creating gift that keeps on going. So I'm pretty sure that the Ach-To Radio network won't stop there. There's so much coming up and so much that we don't know much about. We were talking about Visions a little earlier on. Which we know very little about, but apparently we're going to learn more quite soon. All right, then. So let's get into, and once again, I have linked to Alden in the video description, so go and check out his personal Twitters there, and also Ach-To Radio as well, and I think Apple Podcasts I've put in there too. But if they head to your Twitter, there's plenty of points and nudges in the right direction from that. So we're going to talk about the Bad Batch. We're in episode 7. I know a few people have had to duck out. Purely for spoiler-based reasons, not because of I brought you in to host a show for 10 seconds at least, it seems. Before we get into episode 7 itself, Alden, where have you... bring us up to date on how the Bad Batch ride has been for you so far overall.
I've really enjoyed it, and I have to say it's one of those Star Wars experiences where I'm always down. I mean, again, like what's one of the old jokes, like Star Wars Gonk Droid or Star Wars, Bantha. Like you could give me anything you want, a silent film in Star Wars, and I will find something to love about it because it's my favorite thing. But when they announced Bad Batch, I thought of it on a very surface level and thought, oh, okay, well, obviously A Team. I've always compared them to the Ninja Turtles with the 4 original members. And then I've always said Echo is like Casey Jones. He's the guy that they bring in. And I gotta say, it's really surprised me with how like soulful it is. Like it's really, I mean, obviously the introduction of Omega has sort of made things more poignant in terms of this kid who's like, I've never seen anything in the galaxy ever. I don't know anything. And it's the worst time ever to be learning about the world. And I think it's been really similar thematically, maybe to Mandalorian and Grogu, but different enough because she's way more active and has her own personality and talks. And all the different guys have their different relationships. So it's been really fun to see sort of like this awesome marriage between a prequel aesthetic, but getting toward that like Rogue One, New Hope sort of territory.
Yeah, no, I shared those feelings that it was getting a little bit Mandalorian in the comparisons with Grogu and Omega, but no, I think as you said, she's definitely standing on her own 2 feet now as a character in her own right, as she should. And it's a beautiful looking series, isn't it? It looks beautiful and it sounds beautiful.
Oh yeah, they've done it's no surprise, obviously, since original Clone Wars and Rebels, as those things have been successful, they've pumped more money into them. But with the power of the streaming service, you can tell that they really want to, like with Clone Wars Season 7, Marvel has What If coming up. Like they're taking the animation super seriously. And, in the one before this and in this one, there are times where it just looks so deeply cinematic. Like the whole Wrecker chasing Omega scene in this one is really, really haunting. I thought the droid factory in the previous episode was super dynamic. Like it was, for me, it was better than the droid factory at Attack of the Clones, which it's been years, but it just shows how far it's come animation wise.
Yeah. And, and I've sort of been on that journey very recently of transcending through the various and quite rapid improvements in the technology, the visuals of the Clone Wars, because I've really been binging Clone Wars just up to the release of the Bad Batch. I've still got to go back and finish off the final season. Actually, I got as far as the Bad Batch arc, and then thought, right, okay, I'm going to cross over now, and I'll cross back. And yeah, some of the early, I mean, I don't know if I would have lasted 8 seasons with the early visuals, which I'm sure would have been fine at the time, but because I'd seen clips of the more modern day Clone Wars and what have you, that was in my head. So going back and seeing something a bit more clunky. But anyway, it's just seeing rapidly, not living through it, where it would be a lot more reasonable what you're seeing at the time, 8 years ago or whatever.
Right.
Seeing it all happen so quickly in front of me has been quite a ride. Right. Okay. So episode 7 again. You mentioned the chase there with Wrecker and Omega, the mystery figure in episode 6. Obviously, we had a lot of conversation about that last week. It was Rex. Was that who you were expecting, or were you left in shock and maybe even possibly awe?
I have to say, this is one of those situations where paying extra attention as a Star Wars fan, because there's the Star Wars fans. If you love anything in Star Wars, you're a fan. But then there's the really, really, really participatory, like there's a new alternate TV spot trailer that has 2 seconds of other footage. If you're doing that, eventually that pokes a couple holes in your experience. So I will say that knowing that Rex was going to be in it because of one of the Bad Batch trailers did sort of have me like, oh, like of course I'm happy to see him. I love the guy. But I was like, oh, well, yeah, I knew you were going to have a team up. Now, did I think that necessarily that hologram was him? No, I had my wild guesses. I thought maybe they got Paul Bettany to do Dryden. I thought that maybe there would be a couple different characters that could cross in. But then, it's also, you go to the episode 2 of the season, and Cut LaQuaine and his wife Sue are saying like, oh yeah, Rex was just here like a day before you. So I just feel like I was kind of just waiting for Rex. But what I will say is that even though it didn't surprise me, knowing that Dave Filoni is such a Lord of the Rings fan, the way that they just blatantly used the Aragorn formula to introduce him with him on one side of the bar. And it's like, who is that guy over there? He's got his hood down, and there's like some tension happening. And then he gets into it with these guys. I thought that all of that was super effective.
Yeah, no, that was really well done. And I definitely got those Lord of the Rings vibes as well. And there wasn't much when we were having the chat about it last week in terms of who the figure might be. There was a lot of Bale. There was some Ahsoka. I think I even saw on Twitter. This wasn't on our stream, but I think on Twitter I saw even Maul was suggested by someone. There didn't seem to be that many calls of Rex. Although I will say that FKR here did. I think might have been the only, if not certainly in the minority, people here at least who shouted for Rex. As you mentioned, everybody knew he was going to show up at some point. So
right.
the kind of mysterious cloaked shoulder. Perhaps it just felt almost a little bit too obvious to be Rex, which has sort of surprised people in a way, I guess.
Yeah, a little bit, but I would imagine that if you're like a kid and you're watching it, like it probably lands super hard when you see him again, or if you're a child that just watched Clone Wars season 7. So I think that it works sort of just depending on who the audience is. But yeah, I mean, Chad Campbell with the Narnia shout there. I mean, that's true. And even though Filoni's not directly running the show, he did sort of create it. So he sort of has like the power to talk to the head writers and say, oh, this would be cool. You could kind of do it like that. So I think that, yeah, they set it up in a really cool way with this bar, Sid's bar, now that they're always in.
Yeah, I imagine we'll be seeing more of that bar. And something else that surprised me, because I was kind of thinking that this inhibitor chip business, particularly with Wrecker and all of the foreshadowing that we had going on for weeks of him whinging about his headache. I was thinking, like many, I think that was going to take us right into the season finale. But here we are. I think approx halfway through, and it's presumably settled, apart from Crosshair, who's been suspiciously quiet for a few weeks now.
Yeah, Crosshair is probably out there doing like really heinous, adult
Too
Star
heinous
Wars
to
stuff.
show. Yeah.
Too heinous, because even his last appearance, I mean, I still am shocked at how dark that Crosshair episode is, the third one.
The execution,
civilians and everything. So that was pretty grim. I am excited to see him again. I'm assuming that the setup at the end of people contacting the Empire, those Braca scrappers that see Hunter in the distance and say, that they've caught them. I think that could set up this confrontation with him, knowing now that they have the access to this laboratory. Maybe this ship will be sort of the solution to their problems. Like if we could get Wrecker here, if we can get him to chase us. So lots of dramatic potential, but I thought that it was just so cool to see so much tension with the clones, and like how Rex has become sort of this freedom fighter, and how Omega is, like, oh, I know that you're a Generation 1 clones because you have the line on your face. Like he's sort of the dad of dads. Like they're all, these grown men variations on Tamora Morrison, but Rex is the one that on a real life level was there, from 2008 Clone Wars. He's the first one that had a personality. So
there are a few shouts, cries for Ahsoka. I can see Glenn was hoping to see Ahsoka. Takes to No Games says, I hoped it would be Ahsoka. To me, it seems strange that the Mate sisters would know who Rex is. I saw some people also saying they found it strange or wondered why Rex didn't mention Ahsoka. Do you know why? I mean, of course, you don't have concrete evidence to back up whatever you're going to say, but speculate for me, Alden, nevertheless.
Yeah, a little bit of speculation on that, and I've put some thought into it because it is interesting. I think that one, in episode 6, we can see that the R unit in their ship is R7, Ahsoka's droid. So I think that the implication might be that Ahsoka possibly said, "Hey, this is my friend Rex. Hey, these are my friends, Trace and Rafa. You should do some work together while I have to sort of step back because obviously they're persona non grata right now, the most hunted. Jedi can't just be out there, even if she wanted to be leading, a freedom force or something. So I think that maybe she might be making the connections in the Ahsoka novel, which has been contradicted once by Clone Wars season 7, not in a big way. But so canon, for sure, canon. She does go into a period of hiding, not nearly as long as Obi-Wan or Yoda, but a period before Bail brings her back into the fold. So I think it could be a situation of Rex, he's cagey. He doesn't really know where these guys stand. He likes them. They've worked together. You saw the Bad Batch arc. They worked together with Echo, but he's also got, his hands on his pistol. He's ready to put them down if he has to immediately because it's been through hell these past few weeks, So I think that maybe it was information for another time.
Yeah, and then there will be another time, whether it's in this series or not. Like I said earlier, I think we're at the halfway point. So, that's some good, strong bit of speculating there, Alden. Here's something maybe you can help me out with, because Gaz has raised what could be a bit of an issue for me. Gaz Nottingham says, Jamie, it's interesting that the last 2 episodes have links to the last few episodes of Clone Wars that you have yet to see, which is true. I'm wondering how that will affect you when you finally see them. So time is a little bit of an issue at the moment. That's going to get better for me soon because I've got some... I was about to swear, and as previously mentioned, I don't swear on these streams. I try not to. I have to blooming self-isolate and quarantine a lot soon. So time is soon not to be an issue for me. But I was probably going to go down the route of finishing Bad Batch and then going back to finish off the Clone Wars. Do you think Gaz has a point here? Should I perhaps actually, when time allows, finish off the Clone Wars before finishing the Bad Batch?
Is it necessary? No. But does he have a point? Yes, because I think that, first of all, Trace and Rafa are the next arc in Clone Wars Season 7. Clone Wars Season 7 is the Bad Batch arc, the Trace and Rafa arc, and then the Siege of Mandalore, the finale. And the Siege of Mandalore deals directly with Rex getting his chip removed on one of those Venator-class ships. So there is sort of like that, why would he know to do that? Why is he in this position of wanting to take chips out and stuff? So it does tee them up in a way. Obviously, you haven't been lost. So that's a testament to this show. I think all Star Wars shows are really good at that. You don't need to watch Clone Wars to watch Rebels. You don't need to watch Rebels to watch Resistance. You can watch Resistance without watching the sequel trilogy. And that's when it's set. You can watch Mandalorian only. So it all works. But yeah, those 2 arcs, I mean, if you ever do have the time, it does sort of like highlight, underline, some of these points.
Yeah, and it's also not going to spoil anything that I am going to see in the Bad Batch because obviously
exactly.
It came before. Yeah, I know. I'll do that, Gaz. Thank you for raising that. And Glenn, route or route, it does not matter how you pronounce it. I was just being, is pedantic a word I can use in relation to this matter? However, it does matter when it's tomato, because it's tomato. All right. That's
a hot take.
That matters. All right. We're going to move on because this stream could get nasty if we don't. All right. What's this? Glenn, CG Mandalore is... it's not a swear word, but I'm not going to say it because I don't want people to sort of accuse me of flirting. Is amazing and has one of my favorite lightsaber duels of all time.
It's incredible.
Is that the Ahsoka Maul one?
Yeah, Ahsoka versus Maul. The Siege of Mandalore is a 4-part thing, but it's so clearly a movie. It is like so obviously a movie. It even starts with the 70s Lucasfilm logo.
Really?
and the actual Star Wars theme to kick off that arc. And you really should just like grab a sandwich or a pizza, whatever your movie snack is, and just let all four of them run, because it's a movie that happens concurrently with Revenge of the Sith. It's so perfectly interwoven.
And
So it's really cool.
And from a technical side of things, so I actually know more about the behind the scenes of what happens compared to what happens on screen. Because I had to do some research for an interview for next month's These Are the Actors You're Looking For episode. Lauren Mary Kim, who who performs as Ahsoka against Ray Park. They were there. You know, they were there with all of the mocap golf balls on them. It was shot like a film, like a movie.
Yeah, it's the first time that Dave Filoni had done a fight for his animation that was, really out there. Ken
Knapsack is here. Cheers to these two great cats, and cheers to more ponchos in Star Wars. And also, just to remind everybody, this stream is in memory of Vigo, who has fallen. There we go. Always good to see Ken in the chat. And I'm still waiting for Ken to get back to me on when he's going to pop up on a chat batch. We've only got, what have we got? 7 weeks left to go, Ken. The pressure's on.
Yeah, Ken, 7 weeks. Time's running out.
7 weeks. What have I missed here in the chat? I do my best to multitask, Alden, to have a conversation with you and also listen to what you're saying whilst reading what's going on in the chat. And sometimes I just ain't that smooth with it.
Hey man, you're an old school radio man. You got this.
Thanks, man. And that means a lot coming from you. I mean, I was about to call you a new school radio guy, but you've been doing this a while as well. We're both old school radio guys, as is Ken as well. And that is why I trust when I fled the stream momentarily, I trust you did not allow any dead air to creep in.
I was about to give away tickets. I was about to find a concert.
Ken, yes. Check that spam email, please. Check it. I actually, I can't remember where we left it. I remember we said we'll do something later on in the run. And we're technically at the midpoint. We're not later on in the run yet. So that is all good. And Michael Sharkey is here. I haven't seen you for a while, Sharkey. Always love a good poncho.
I do too. And I do want to give a shout out to Hasbro, who today, I don't know if you mentioned it earlier before I joined the call, but Hasbro announced Poncho Rex is going to be a Black Series figure.
Oh, really?
It's basically just Rex. And they slapped a little cloth poncho on him, but I will buy it.
Oh, it's an actual cloth poncho. It's not a plastic poncho.
No, yeah, he's got the full armor, helmet on or off with the flip down visor and everything. And then they added the tri-folding poncho that he wears in this episode, which is really cool. And they also have Imperial crosshair and some Lucasfilm 50th anniversary figures as well that are going to be coming out.
That's cool. And I do like my ponchos made of cloth. You don't want a plastic poncho on you. David's here. David's here to brave spoilers despite not seeing the episode. That is commitment.
I lied.
That is commitment, David. Yeah, Chad. Yeah, I do. It's like the special kind of the Rolls-Royce range of Star Wars figures, right?
I don't know if I would call them Rolls-Royce. Rolls-Royce would be like a Hot Toys figure. Those sideshow, those nice ones. But yeah, the Black Series, they're the 6-inch figures. And lately you could make the argument that they've gotten even nicer, thankfully, for not a price increase, because they've started doing photo scans around the time of Solo. They started scanning actors' faces and slapping them on the figures. So no more, Luke Skywalker figures that look like some 90s beefcake model you've never seen before and stuff. So
I do follow the bootleg action figure market. I'll have you know, Chad, and I'm definitely going to make some videos on that vibe at some point in the near future, which in my world can mean at any point between now and the day I die.
Well, that's like the X-Men thing of in the not too distant future. Like, what does that mean?
Which can be pretty distant on this YouTube channel. But Chad, you're right. I'm not a guy who follows the action figure market, the legit action figure market. The action figure market follows me because I follow, good people like Alden on Twitter, and it's not just Alden. There's many people I follow on Twitter who bring it to me. So I do know about Black Series, and also I think Alden, it was you today that posted something on Twitter about the old school Power of the Force Hasbro cards range.
Yeah.
Are they bringing them back? Is it, or were you just getting nostalgic finding old images?
So what they're doing is, I just pulled them up here. So they are Black Series, and they have a Lucasfilm. So it's the Power of the Force packaging from back in the day, but with current Black Series figures, representing A New Hope for the 50th, and it's Greedo, Han, and Luke, and they have the 50th anniversary emblem in the top. But they are straight up Power of the Force, the old font and everything. Old headshots of Harrison or promo shots of Harrison and Mark. Greedo even got one. So yeah, hopefully, I mean, they should just bring back Power of the Force and just call it that. Like, that would be great.
Well, I don't know if you it was way before you came on, actually, so you probably didn't hear, but I was I don't do straight up reaction videos on this channel. I've never done an unboxing video as far as I know, unless someone secretly filmed me. I said earlier that I might do a very dusty unboxing video at some point soon, because I've been ordered to sort out some boxes of stuff that's been at my mum's for ages, and a lot of it's going to be Star Wars stuff back from when I was a bit of a collector, and I will have a lot of Power of the Force stuff there. So yeah, once upon a time I did follow the action figure market, but now, as previously mentioned, it follows me thanks to who I follow on Twitter. I'm just trying to find the Power of the Force ones that you mentioned 4 hours ago. Fanford Tracks have posted something on it, so let's see if I can bring this up, and then we'll get back to the Bad Batch and wrap up pretty soon. And also hello to Crosby. I've seen it's popped up in the chat as well. So let me see if I can bring this in. Yeah, Fanford Tracks. There we go. Oh, they've put some text over them. Hang on. Is there a full? That's the Greedo one.
Look at him in all his glory. Moments before death.
This is Black Series. See, I recognize the logo, and it says the Black Series down there under Star Wars. So that's different, isn't it?
Well,
is this
yeah.
a separate video. What's going on here?
So
is
it's
it
a Black Series figure
inside a Power of the Force?
Yes.
Packaging? Is that what you meant? Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. So they just brought back the packaging.
Right. Oh, okay. I'm very confused. Chad was right about me. Chad was right. His hand. Very cool. And just because it would be rude to leave him out, there's Luke.
With a cloth farm boy tunic and everything.
I do love a cloth tunic. You don't want one of those plastic ones, let me tell you. All right, there we go. That was a tangent, but I think a good one. How do I take that out? There we go. All right. Let's just check the chat, see if there's any more abuse about my or doubts about my geeky credentials. Yes, Jane, you will get to see my old toys and the evidence that I'm genuine. It's going to be so dusty, though. It is going to be so dusty. You interviewed Greedo. Would that be Paul Blake or the female Greedo? I say female Greedo because I can't remember her name, and I've never interviewed her, but I've interviewed Paul Blake. But whilst he predominantly played Greedo, there was when he was unavailable for a day, I think they had to do some pickup shots. Someone else was called in.
Greedo in heels.
Greedo in heels. Okay, so what were we talking about, Alden? Because it wasn't action figures. It wasn't supposed to be action figures anyway.
It started, we were talking about Rex, then Ken brought up ponchos, which are great.
This is all Ken's fault. Ken started a tangent.
Basically. No, but yeah, so, but Rex overall, I mean, Poncho and everything, like his presence in this episode, I think was necessary. And it was just cool to see how he connected with these characters. I mean, it's definitely a character-based episode. You get your action with Wrecker chasing Omega, but you can have a moment of reality checking yourself where you're like, well, he's not going to hurt this child. He's not going to hurt a child on my screen. But it still was pretty scary, I thought, and well directed. Nice little horror movie fake out of where she's hiding, and then they get you, and it's I think a womp rat. I'm assuming. You had the Dianoga try to swallow them earlier, so it was definitely a horror tinged episode. But now I'm really excited. And one thing I didn't mention, I don't know if anyone in the chat already said this, so if someone did, you get it first. The planet that they're on is Braca, which is the planet that we find Cal Kestis originally in Jedi Fallen Order, where he's been hiding, scrapping trash since everything went down 5 years prior. So I'm not saying there's going to be a Cal cameo, but if there's a little redheaded child in the background of a scene while they're still on this planet, there he is.
I think he called it first. I don't believe I have seen any mention of such a thing in the chat, but I could be wrong as well. But yeah, the episode did have its action, its loud moments, if you like. But I feel like the silent moments. There was some really strong silent moments in this episode, and perhaps they were the more powerful moments. I mean, there wasn't much doubt. I mean, we didn't have the time to even create that doubt and real tension that Wrecker wouldn't wake up, but there was still enough tension there in seeing how worried the characters, his mates, were about him. And also, I enjoyed Amiga's friendship with Wrecker a lot in this episode as well. That's blossoming. Yeah. That's becoming a great thing. Their
tradition of eating is it Mantel mix, I think it is. The popcorn essentially that you can basically get at Galaxy's Edge, either in California or Florida. They have some of that stuff. But yeah, and then at the end of him having full recollection of how he went after her, that's pretty terrifying. And that implies that do all clones like Rex remember what happened to them? Like that's pretty horrible. And this entire show just underlines how terrible Palpatine and Tarkin and all these people are. Like it's a horrific time. So this is like the least hopeful show because you can only see it getting worse before it gets better. So it's interesting for sure.
It is interesting. To be honest, I'm not here for the hope at the moment. I'm quite enjoying the doom and gloom and the shock of. I don't enjoy executions, but finding myself in a place of shock. That was not something I expected from presumably. And I know non-Star Wars fans or maybe more casual Star Wars fans would look at this and presume it is a kid's show. This ain't a straight up kid's show.
No, definitely the more older crowd leaning of the Star Wars shows. Clone Wars went there at times. Rebels sort of rode the line, I think, perfectly between family audiences of all ages. But this one definitely feels like they're making, the military crime drama of all of this stuff. The Bad Batch is in debt. They got nowhere to go. They took jobs to try to make money, and now they owe money. It's hard times for everybody.
Colin J. Rogers in the chat says, if you haven't got a Millennium Falcon with a missing cardboard wall, you haven't lived. Jane Flakes also says, this has just become like the toy chat now. And it's all Ken's fault.
Everybody go spend money. That's what we're telling you.
Yeah, but there's no affiliate links in my video description. I need to get on that. These are all the sorts of things I wanted as a kid. I had to wait until I was nearly 50 to get my first 8080 or AT-AT. And Chad has confirmed that it was Paul Blake that he interviewed and has added that all the extras, the really side role people I've met have been very nice. Also all British. The line seems to be, I do cons for the people. I love the fans. ... And the money. Yeah, I can imagine Paul delivering that line. Paul's fun. Paul had a good sense of humor. Stanley Otti, hello to you, my friend. Right. Also on what you said earlier, FKR here, who did predict Rex correctly. If Cal appears in the next episode, I'll scream. Will be such a cool little detail. Look what you've done there. Look what you've done there, Alden.
It's possible.
You've got FKR speculating about his reaction to something that might not happen. Okay, then. Starting to wrap up now, people. So get ready to get your marks out of 10 in the chat. Roy Keane is here. Kino, can you tell me what the full-time Denmark... can anyone tell me what the full-time Denmark-Belgium score was? I saw it was 1-0 Denmark at half-time. And, of course, I'm very professional and have not checked since the stream started. So maybe Kino can tell me, because I know you are probably have been at least watching it. Get ready for your marks out of 10 for episode 7, Battle Scars of the Bad Batch. Alden, where do you think, again, like, in my kind of limited mind, I was imagining the inhibitor chip would be the sort of running theme. Again, presumably that's more or less settled now. Where do you think we go to next?
I think in the immediate, I think we're going to have a couple more missions. I think that they're due for a big episode coming up here. I think that with the Empire now having these scrappers rat them out, I think that there's definitely a possibility of a Crosshair appearance. I would assume he's had 3 episodes off. It's time for D. Bradley Baker to start pulling his weight again. If you're not voicing at least 7 people, then I'm not impressed, G. No, but he's doing an amazing job in all seriousness. But yeah, I think that for me, what this episode implied and what I would be very interested in seeing is that Rex alludes to the fact that he's like, the Republic is beaten, but there's still people out there. And it's not just going to be this quick transition that Palpatine thinks it is. They haven't named Palpatine, but we saw him in the first one in the hologram. So I think that maybe Hunter alludes to like, I can't do this right now. I got a kid. But then he says, hey, but you know where to find me. So I think that maybe it could be, let's try to get as many of our brothers back as we can. See if who else we can de-chip. See if we can create like more freedom fighters, because when we see Rex as an old man in Star Wars Rebels, he's hanging out with Wolf and Gregor, 2 clones that we haven't seen in this show. We haven't seen them in a bit, then chronologically. So is it possible that the Bad Batch goes out swinging and they're all wiped out one day because they got this little itty bitty clone, task force together? Who knows? But I think that it's definitely going to be the seeds of rebellion. All that early stuff.
Yeah, because not going to get into another tangent, but Rebels is also something I've not seen, but I've been convinced that I need to see it by many people who are in the chat right now. But essentially, this is the bridge to Rebels, isn't it? This series.
And what's very interesting, without giving away what happens, because I didn't know you hadn't seen it, and it's my favorite of the Star Wars shows. I think it's incredible. It's one of my favorite things. When you see Rex in that show, he's done fighting. He's old man. He took the sleeves off his armor. He's got a big white beard. He's bald, and he's just like, we're hanging out here on our planet and hiding, and you can do your thing. You have to pull him back into the fight. So what broke him, is because here he's all about still doing the good work. So it's going to be possibly tragic, I would say, which again, Star Wars is not afraid of. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, exciting times. All right, then. I can see a lot of scores coming in. So this is your final call to get your marks out of 10 for episode 7. Alden, over to you. What would you give this in terms of a score out of 10?
If I had to give it a score, I think I would give it a 9. I think that the only thing I can think of that takes away from this episode for me a little bit personally is that you have some Rex Echo interactions, but they, at least at this point, they didn't dig as much as I thought that they could have, would have, should have. It's hard because it's not about what I want, but it's just that Rex and Echo go so far back. Like you saw the Bad Batch arc. Like it was Rex that said, no, you should go with them. Like you should be a part of it. And I thought that maybe while Wrecker was unconscious that they would have like a conversation. It just felt like they didn't dive into the most personal of the relationships. But everything else about the episode I thought was absolutely aces and fantastic. The music in this show has just been amazing. And so yeah, I'm giving it a strong 9.
9, very strong. Quick aside, is this the first time that you've streamed with someone who's wearing a t-shirt with your face on it?
It is. And I'm pretty sure that's the first one that ever existed is the one that you're wearing. Wow. Yeah, because I didn't even get one until like very recently when I realized I didn't have one.
Wow, there we go. This stream has been full of firsts. I mean, this first that we've just the aforementioned first of this. I'm sure there were other firsts in the stream as well. All right, let's go over to the scores in the chat. We've got a 9 from Alden. We've got a different score here, 2-1 to Belgium. Thank you, Kino. A 9 from Jane Flakes, an 8 from Clays, Chad, you're trying to do a Ken and start another tangent. A high 8 from Gaz. So we've got some high scores so far. I think 8 is the lowest so far. And 8 is also what Michael Sharkey will give it. 8 out of 10. Really enjoying this one. I think, Michael Sharkey, I feel like you also contributed to the massive tangent we went on, because Ken brought up the ponchos. Then we swiftly moved on. And then you brought back up the ponchos. And then I think Alden then went into the Black series, which I know all about, line of discussion.
The Rolls Royces.
Yes, the Rolls Royce of Star Wars action figures, but apparently not. I'll have to get a new analogy for them. Oh, we got the lowest score so far, 7.9 from Glendagy Yippee. I enjoyed it a lot, but not as much as I enjoyed the last episode. No, we have a lower score. FKR loved seeing Wrecker. Great chase scene with Wrecker, but they fixed inhibitor chip problem a bit quick. Unless maybe Amiga has a secret chip still. Maybe it's not the last of the bother that these chips are going to cause them. I kind of, in a way, am almost, if they have dealt with it, the problem, I'm almost quite pleased in a way, because now I'm sort of more wondering what's coming next and what direction it's going in. But again, as you've alluded to there, maybe it's not the last of it yet. Chad's still ignoring the question, which is give us a mark out of 10 for this episode. Thank you, Chad. Oh, here he's back now. 8 out of 10. I mean, you did give some other numbers in that other comment, but they were irrelevant numbers. 8 out of 10. Okay, so I think 7 is the lowest. Yeah, that's what you think, Chad. That's what you think. All right, I think all the scores are in, apart from mine. Chad is presuming I'll give it a 6.5 because I've given pretty much every other episode a 6.5. But, Alden, I'm sure you have tuned into every week of the chat batch, so you've heard me say this before, but I'll say it again just on the very minor, small off chance that you haven't watched them all. 5's average. So anything above 5 is above average. So what's wrong with a 6.5? I think that's pretty good. All right. I'm giving this episode a 6.5. No, I'm not. I'm giving it a 7. I'm giving it a 7, which is the joint highest score. I gave the premiere a 7. Actually, no, sorry. I gave the premiere a 7.5, and rightly so. I absolutely loved the premiere, and I really did enjoy this episode. Not as much as the premiere. 7. So it's my second favorite episode based on these scores, which could change when I go back and watch them again. So there we go. Chad, take that. Team poncho all the way. Cloth ponchos, always cloth ponchos. All right. But as FKR says, whilst he feels guilty for saying 7, he loved it anyway. That's 7 strong. 7 strong. All right. Well, Alden, thank you very much for joining the chat batch. And also thank you everybody in the chat. And I've just remembered. Thank you to all Patreon members as well. A good few of which have been in the chat tonight, which is always good to see. And it's always good to see all of you. There we go. Correct branding. So thank you very much once again to everybody. And Alden, do you want to give, again, I have linked in the video description, but do you want to just shout out where people can find you on the World Wide Web? I mean, you can, tell us where people can find you in the real world as well if you want to be stalked.
Yeah, if you want to make it all the way down to South Florida, you're more than welcome to. From that point on, though, it's going to be a little bit of a scavenger hunt. You're going to have to do the work. But thank you. Great to see you, Glenn. So you could follow me at AD_Strider on Twitter, at A.D.Strider on Instagram, and then Ach-To Radio, AHCHTO Radio. There you go. I almost had it. On all your podcast platforms. Boom. There it is. You know the planet. It's the one where Luke was doing fishing. He was doing milking. You guys remember. Yeah. It was good. It was good times. So that's where you can find the podcast. That's where both of the shows live, upcoming shows as well. And then you can also find me on the other podcast that I do called the One and Done Film Club, where we break down different movie franchises, but we only pick one movie out of the entire franchise to do a commentary track on and add it into our non-existent virtual collection. The finale coming up is the prequel trilogy. So it'll be our first foray into Star Wars.
Cool, man. Well, there's a lot of love for you coming from the chat, and a few I know are already following you, and it looks like a few more are following you now. Well, at least David is, anyway. He's giving you a follow on Twitter.
Thanks,
so there
man.
we go. Once again, thank you, everybody. I'm terrible at ending streams. You know, you're meant to hang up on me. So reminder, I am going to unlist this video, but if you've had the notification, I've also put it on Twitter. You can click on that link and you'll still be able to revisit the stream or share it if you want to. But for boring algorithm reasons, I'm testing this unlisting thing. But at some point later tonight, if not tomorrow, I'm going to put a playlist on the channel homepage. It'll be at the bottom of the homepage. And all of the streams will be there unlisted, but they'll be right in front of you on the playlist for anyone to see if they go looking. So there we go. All's not lost. And we'll see how this experiment goes. Maybe I'll stop the unlisting eventually. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. And now I am definitely going to hang up. So see you all next week. Take care.